Hello everyone! Welcome to the first video of a series of discussion videos of PA ELEC 6 Globalization and Public Administration. So this subject focuses on the economic, political, cultural, and social impacts of globalization on nation-states across the globe. It introduces the theory, trends, issues, and policies that shape globalization. Furthermore, it addresses questions through an examination of diverse, intersecting dimensions of globalization, from the economic and political to the social, cultural, and environmental. Moreover, it also provides students the opportunity to learn the special issues of developing countries like the Philippines. So stay back, relax, stay safe, and have an interesting time learning in this new normal. So, we will begin with Unit 1, which is about the historical aspect of globalization. We will begin our discussion with the Silk Roads, and then we'll turn to the spice routes. Afterwards, we'll go to the Age of Discovery. Next is the first wave of globalization. After that, we'll move forward with the two world wars. After which, we'll proceed with the second and third wave of globalization. Lastly, we'll tackle about the globalization 4.0. The first topic is about the Silk Roads. It started during the 1st century BC until the 5th century AD. Luxury products were traded from China to Rome. Merchants traveled thousands of miles across the Silk Roads to transport goods. Trade had stopped being local and regional during this time, but still is not the onset of globalization. Though the values of the exports are tiny, global trade routes were nevertheless established. After the Silk Roads, the spice routes became popular. It started during the 7th century until the 15th century. Trade routes opened in the Mediterranean and Indian Oceans and went as far as Indonesia. This trade boom was initiated by Islamic merchants, as Muhammad, the Prophet himself, was a merchant. The main focus of Islamic merchants were spices, and mainly transported by the sea. However, globalization still did not take off during this time, as the trade is only in a small volume. However, land via the Silk Roads and sea routes were already established. Then came the Age of Discovery. It started during the 15th century until the 18th century. European powerhouses started to explore and expand to other places to look for valuable resources. And then came the discovery of colonies. Part of this exploration and expansion was the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus and the circumnavigation of Ferdinand Magellan. And also, the introduction of other goods. Due to discovery of new places, other goods such as potato, tomato, coffee, and chocolate were introduced in Europe. However, this is still not yet the onset of globalization. Though trade became global during this time due to the existence of colonies, economists still don't regard it as the onset, as trade merely happened between colonial economies. Then came the first wave of globalization. It started from the 19th century to 1914. Great Britain started to dominate the world due to its technological advancements. This is due to the Industrial Revolution. So the Industrial Revolution kicked off with innovations such as the steam engine that helps in making trade easy and fast. And due to this, globalization steamrolled. As trading became much easier and faster, global trading grew on average 3% per year. However, everything is not just positive during this time. This globalization, this industrial revolution, also resulted to the scramble for Africa. So this is a negative effect as European powerhouses crave for more resources, and Africa became the obvious victim due to its rich natural resources. Then the World Wars came into the picture. The first one was from 1914 to 1919, while the second one was from 1939 to 1945. These two major wars changed the landscape of the world forever. During this time, war replaced trade. The two world wars hampered trade and cost billions of resources to be reverted to war efforts. Borders were closed, and so was the urge to trade. As a result, there had been a 5% decline in the global trade, which is a 100-year low. However, on top of this, sandwiched between the two world wars was the breakdown of financial markets that led to the downturn of the global economy as a whole. Right after the Second World War came the second and third wave of globalization. It is characterized by the rise of trade agreements between nations all over the world. In addition, technological advancements became important as characterized by the US-Soviet race for supremacy. Furthermore, China ended its long isolation. It's characterized by entering the World Trade Organization headed under the new leadership of Deng Xiaoping. And then, the trade boom happened. As most of the major economies entered the global stage, global trade reached a milestone, rising as high as a quarter of the global gross domestic product. And now, Globalization 4.0 came into the picture. It is the new wave of globalization, commenced upon the introduction of the digital economy. It is dominated by the two superpowers, mainly US and China. So the digital economy is dominated by e-commerce, artificial intelligence, and even cyber attacks. However, as a result of this, climate change entered into the picture. As the world got more advanced, the environment got traded off badly. As a result, climate change entered the picture and demanded collective actions across the world. As we reach the end of our little trip across the history of globalization, we now turn to our activity. So you have to create a concept map or a poster illustrating the history of globalization. So you have to be as creative as possible and put important matters on your answer. So the better answer, the better grade. After finishing your concept map or poster, you now turn to the third activity. You have to write an essay on the significance of the historical aspect in the study of globalization. So please answer practically. Congratulations! You have finished Unit 1 of this module. If you have any questions or queries, you can contact me through the following outlets. I hope that you have learned a lot as we went along our topic. And I'll see you in our future discussion videos as we go along our module. Sit back, relax, enjoy, stay safe, and God bless.